All right, so today we're diving into something pretty heavy.
Yeah.
You know, you might have heard about that foiled rocket attack.
Oh, yeah.
The one they were going to launch from Batam over to Marina Bay.
Wild.
Crazy stuff. And get this, the group behind it. They were using, get this, social media to gather intel.
Really?
Yeah, so we've got some excerpts here from an article in the new paper. It's called Terrorists Using Social Media to Gather Intelligence.
Okay.
And we're going to try to figure out just how these groups are, using the internet to their advantage.
Yeah, because it's out there, right? Like, all this information is just there.
Exactly. And it's like, how are they exploiting it?
Right.
So, one of the things that really jumps out from this article is how they're, like, weaponizing this information that anyone can find.
Oh, absolutely.
Like, there's this Indonesian group, KGR at Kandama GR. And they were actually on Facebook learning how to put together firearms and explosives.
No kidding.
Yeah, it's kind of scary to think about.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's Facebook, right? It's huge.
Millions of users, right?
Exactly. And how can they possibly keep track of every single thing that's posted there?
Right.
Even with all the algorithms and moderators, there are going to be gaps.
So these groups, they find these little cracks in the system and they exploit them.
Exactly. They slip right through.
And it's not just about, finding instructions on how to build a bomb.
No, not at all.
It's bigger than that.
It's the networking, the sharing of tactics, maybe even recruiting new members.
All under the radar.
Totally under the radar.
It's like a whole hidden world operating right there in plain sight.
You said it.
And, it's not just limited to these fringe groups. This whole thing is part of a much bigger trend.
Huge trend.
Terrorists, they're really leaning on the internet and social media more and more.
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
To gather information.
Yeah.
It's called open source intelligence, or OSINT for short.
Right.
And it's become a really, really powerful tool for them.
Crucial. Absolutely crucial.
There's this counterterrorism expert, Ivor Terret.
Okay.
He's from the Certified Counterterrorism Practitioner Group, CCTP.
Right.
And he said something that really stuck with me.
What's that?
He said, terrorists are leveraging on the openness and interconnectivity of the internet and social media to gather crucial information while remaining anonymous.
Chilling, isn't it?
It is, and it makes you think, they're not just lurking in the dark corners of the internet, the so-called dark web.
Oh.
They're out in the open.
Absolutely. They're on the same websites and platforms that we use every day.
Exactly. And that's what's so scary about it.
Yeah.
Like, they could be using Google Earth to case out a target.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
Looking at security layouts, or scrolling through social media to figure out, like, when security patrols happen.
It's all right there.
It's unsettling to think about how this information that's so readily available can be twisted and used for such horrible purposes. And for the authorities, trying to track all of this must be a nightmare.
It's a huge challenge.
Like finding a needle in a haystack.
Right, exactly, yeah.
And they have to balance all of this with respecting people's privacy and freedom of speech.
Right. You can't just go snooping around in everyone's business.
It's a tough situation.
Very tough.
So what are organizations like the CCTP doing to try and combat this?
Well, they're doing some pretty amazing things.
Okay.
One of the things they're doing is they're running these specialized training courses. Like there's one called the Hostile Reconnaissance and Surveillance Detection course.
Wow, that's a mouthful.
It is, but it's really important.
Okay.
It teaches people how to spot and disrupt these terrorist intelligence gathering activities.
So like how to recognize red flags online.
Exactly. And they learn all about the tactics that terrorists use to try and hide what they're doing.
So it's a constant back and forth, huh?
Yeah, it's like a game of cat and mouse.
The people trying to exploit this information and the people trying to keep us safe.
Always one step ahead.
It's kind of wild to think about.
It is.
So to recap, we've talked about that Indonesian group, KGR at Kandama GR, and how they used Facebook.
Right.
And we've talked about this broader trend of terrorists using OSINT.
Yes.
It's a lot to take in, honestly.
It is.
It really makes you think about the challenges we're facing in this digital age.
Absolutely.
And you know what? Here's something for you to think about.
Okay.
As you go about your day, scrolling through the internet, liking posts, sharing things, just remember, you're creating a digital footprint.
Right.
And that footprint can be analyzed.
Absolutely.
And potentially it could be exploited.
It's not about being paranoid.
No, not at all.
It's about being aware.
Being mindful of the risks.
Right.
And taking steps to protect yourself.
Stay vigilant. Stay informed.
Yeah. Great advice.
I try.
All right, that's all the time we have for today.
Okay.
Thanks for joining us for another deep dive.
My pleasure.
We'll see you next time.